Bran Nue Dae, based on the musical of the same name, is a 2009 coming-of-age movie loosely based on the life of its writer, Jimmy Chai. Set in 1969, the film tells the story of a young Aboriginal boy who runs away from a strict Catholic boarding school in Perth to be in his hometown of Broome in Western Australia. The musical was highly successful and garnered much praise from audiences and critics alike. In adapting the story to the silver screen, director Rachel Perkins wanted to maintain the connection many Aboriginal theatregoers had with the stage play. Some surreal choices in editing and sound design, mixed with outlandish performances, creates a fun musical experience which connects with its audience. Despite it being a Screen Victoria production, the entire film is shot on location in Broome and Perth in Western Australia. From the dusty roads to the boarding school, from the outdoor cinema to the condom tree, the film celebrates the locations that inspired it, depicting the red soil and sweltering heat of the iconic Australian outback. Jimmy Chai, having grown up in Broome himself, wrote almost every song in response to his experiences. By far the catchiest being Nothing I Would Rather Be, a song which, upon first listening, is shocking to an audience for its implication that we would all love to be Aboriginals despite the way they are treated by non-Indigenous folks. But being such an enjoyable, jovial and catchy song, it has the ability to repeat on end in your head for days after listening to it. The most culturally significant would easily be the song Listen to the News, a song about the difficulties faced by Aboriginal people. The dreamlike adaptation of this sequence in the film highlights the culture of the Aboriginal people and their connection to their elders, the song itself being a call to arms to defend the Aboriginal culture from extinction. The stylistic choices made in the film's edit can be off-putting to a casual audience. While the previously mentioned dream sequence beautifully adds to the story and expresses how the protagonist feels, similar sequences in the film can have a confusing effect on the audience. During one such scene, Willie is distracted in school, thinking about his love back in Broome. But without an obvious transition into this dream, it is implied that these moments are happening sequentially, or in this out-of-body experience in which Willie watches himself leaving on the bus while sitting in the cinema. These moments are designed to give insight into how Willie feels, but are not quite surreal enough to give the audience the impression that they are not really happening. On the downside, the production of this film was rather rushed, which, sadly, does show in the final product. With a tight turnaround, most of the choreography and lyrics were being taught to the cast on the day of shooting, many of whom had no experience in dancing, singing, or even acting. The resulting musical sequence are quite basic and unenthusiastic, but it still looks like the cast is having lots of fun, which is always the point of a musical. Inevitably, the production resembles a local theatre production rather than the elaborately choreographed sequences you may expect from a movie musical. The rush production may also be an indication of the curious pacing problem in the film. Certain sequences feel completely irrelevant, yet others which feel important are cut down to their bones to give the minimum detail needed from the scene. Although having not seen the musical myself, it may be possible that many of these creative choices derive from the adaptation as opposed to issues during production. Bran Nue Dae is a fun film, expressing the camaraderie and free-spiritedness that you'd expect from a story about Australians, and despite some awkward dancing and forced moments of comedy, it truly represents how fun it is to be an Aussie.